guys, it's Tina and I am back and I'm giving you like vampy fall dark lips. I'm doing it today, okay, because I am having fun with one of my Pat McGrath palettes. This guy is the Mothership number 5 Bronze Seduction. Now, to be fair, I talked crap about this palette. I was like, anti-haul, I'm not getting it, whatever. And then I got it to round out my collection because I have an upcoming video for you guys. If it is already posted, I will link it here. Once it goes live, I will link it here so you can check it out. And I will also link it down below so you can check out full swatches of all the palettes. But this is one of them that I talk crap about. And I kind of have to eat my words a little bit, just a little bit though, like not too much. Come on, it's still $125 for 10 shades, so I can still talk mess rap because what eyeshadow is worth that? Like, let's be honest. But I was able to achieve a really beautiful look and I think it is really gorgeous. I am not mad at the eyeshadow or the formulation. I just think the price point needs a little check-in. But if you want to see how I created this really vampy dark halo smoky eye, then stay tuned and I will talk to you soon. Alright guys, so as usual we're starting off with a clean, freshly washed face, and I already filled in my brows using my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in shade 4.5. I also applied concealer under my brows and primer to my eyelids, and now I'm going in with a little bit of moisturizer. This is from Urban Decay. It's from their skincare line. It's the Rehab Makeup Prep and it's the Hot Springs Hydrating Gel Moisturizer. So it says it's perfect for prepping skin for makeup. This moisturizing gel has an ultra lightweight watery feel and absorbs quickly to leave skin feeling soft and not oily. So we're gonna test this out. I'm just gonna use this since I'm not intending on going anywhere. I'm gonna wash this off pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna try this out, and if I like it, I will go ahead and use it throughout the day. So I don't know if they still have their skincare line, but they had sent me the entire line when they had launched initially, and I just haven't gotten around to using up the products. So let's see what this does. I'm gonna start out by applying a little bit of a transition shade in my crease area. And I'm using this shadow from Smashbox. This is such an old school eyeshadow. I've been just searching through my collection lately and enjoying what I already have. And this is from Smashbox. It's the eyeshadow single in nude. I don't know if Smashbox still does singles. I think they did because they redid the formulation, because I remember picking this up in the new formulation. It's just a skin tone tan shade. Apply that in my crease area to set down the concealer and to prep my eyelids for like the blending situation, because as I mentioned in the intro, we're going in with this palette from Pat McGrath. It's the Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction, and there's no real transition shade in this palette, so I did need to just pull one in from my collection, which I don't mind doing, but I'll mention that because some people like having a palette with transition shades. So I'm gonna go in with this first matte shade here, and we'll zoom in a little bit. This shade is Entrapment, and I'm just going to apply it to the outer V and a little bit in the crease, very lightly at first. This is a Detail Pro brush from Sonia G, one of my favorite brushes. You've seen this many times by now. I'm just using this to give a nice wash of color by using windshield wiper motions in that crease area. And then I'll pick up the darker brown matte. I'm using a Sonia Kashuk crease brush for this. This shade is Disobedient. And I'm using circular buffing motions in the outer V to apply this shade. It's a really richly pigmented shade and it's picking up beautifully. And this smaller brush will give me more payoff than the larger blending brush from Sonia G would. And that's what we're going for right now. And I'm gonna slowly build this color up and pull it onto the outer half of the lid. So I'm still using those circular motions and then just pulling it slowly inwards onto the lid space. And we're creating that depth on that outer V, making sure that it's nice and smoky and we have the color payoff that we want and it's nice and blended out. Then I'm grabbing a smaller detail brush. This is the Builder Pro, also from Sonia G, and I'm applying that color on the inner lid, but not all the way onto the inner tear duct, since we'll put a brightening shade there. But we're creating the halo effect, and that involves darkening the inner lid as well as the outer lid and creating a halo shape. Now once I have that done, I'm gonna go in with the dark purple. This shade is Extreme Aubergine, and instead of applying that just to the outer V, I'm gonna apply that towards the outer lid space. And that color is actually not giving us purple. It's giving us almost like a blackened shade. So I'm gonna pull back from that because that is a little bit darker and deeper than I expected it to be. So we'll just use it on the outer V to smoke that out a bit and leave it at that, because I didn't want it to be that dark, if I'm honest with you. Now I'll go back in with the Detail Pro Brush and go around the edge of the color, because I want to fade out some of the darker edge, because even though I want this to be smoky, I don't want it to be too intensely smoky. So just use windshield wiper motions, just go back and forth, and that will help to blur out and fade out some of that depth. Now the go-to shade would probably be the red, right? You want that pop of color, but I'm gonna actually go in with the bronze shade here. This is the shade Bronze Blaze, and I'm just gonna pop that on the center of the lid using a Beautyblender eyeshadow brush. That is really intense and really golden. It's like a coppery gold almost, because it does have that orange look to it. It's very beautiful. Whoa. Now that picks up great on the lid, but I feel like it's a little bit too flaky, so I'm gonna dampen my brush a little bit with my Smashbox primer water, and I'm just gonna lightly go over that color. Not picking up any more color, I'm just going directly on the lid with the damp brush and patting over the center of the lid to make sure that color doesn't really flake away, because what's happening is it's glittery and flaky, so it's dusting away and going all over the place. I want a little bit more control, so that damp brush will allow me to have that. And I think I want to amp it up by using a little bit of this shade here. This is a duochrome special shade. Dampen that brush because that's definitely going to be a flaky shade. This shade is VR Fire Opal, which has like a pinky and green duochrome to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's given this green reflect, but you can also see a little bit of pink to it. And over that bronze shade, oh my god, that's so gorgeous. I love that. Now I'm feeling like we should use some of that red. I mean, the red is the poppin' shade in the palette. This shade is Blitz Flame, and I'm just gonna pop it on the outer part of the shimmer shade. I'm not gonna add it to the inner part, just on the outer edge. And what I'm doing is using flicking motions to blend that in with the lid. And that, oh my god, that is coming off, so beautiful. Do you see that? It looks fiery and coppery and green, and this is really pretty. I will give it that. All right, I'm gonna kind of blend a little bit on the inner part too, just to tie it together. Why not? Let's just do it. Oh, that looks great. Oh my god, love it. Okay, there's a lot going on, so I'm gonna go back in with the dark brown shade that we used before, the Disobedient shade, and go around the outer V now, and then the crease, just to back down some of that shimmer and glitter. And that blends really nicely. It kind of just easily subdues the shimmer a little bit, so it's not as sparkly and in your face, which is what I need to do. And I'm just using an Eddie Funkhauser blending brush. Alright, now let's go in with the dark purple, that Extreme Aubergine shade. That actually just gives us like a really black and dark effect to that outer V. And just apply that and deepen up that outer V a little bit more. Make it really nice and smoky. That is stunning, actually. That is really stunning. Now I'm gonna go in with this light shimmery shade here. This shade is Skin Show Divine Glow, and I'm popping that on the inner tear duct with a 781 crease brush from Delium Tools. What I love about the Pat McGrath Skin Show shades is that they look like skin with a little bit of glow to them, so it's not gonna create a stark inner tear duct. which I appreciate. As someone with darker skin, I hate when it's just a stark inner tear duct. It's too loud and it throws off everything. With these, I feel like you can still get that subtle effect. It's not as in your face as like a stark white would be, or like a really bright shimmery inner tear duct. And this just gives us that brightness, that impact on the inner tear duct, but it's not as like pow, stark, too much, right? And then I'm just gonna pick up some of the Extreme Aubergine on that same brush and pop it on the inner lid where we had that halo effect going on, just so we can maintain the shape that we had without losing it to the inner tear duct highlight. Okay, so for my foundation, I'm using this one from Juvia's Place. It's the I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation, and the shade I'm using is Real, which is 430. And I'm applying that with my Artis Oval 8 brush. I love using this brush for full coverage foundations, which this one is a full coverage matte foundation. I really like the finish of it. I like the coverage that it gives, and I find that this brush is perfect for these types of foundations where you really need to make sure you apply it evenly. You need it to be smooth across the skin because it is that full coverage. You need it to cover every nook and cranny and really blend in with your skin, and this brush helps with that. So I'm just gonna blend that. Now you don't need a ton of this foundation. A little bit does go a long way. So just be careful with that you don't apply too much, because with a full coverage foundation, you don't want it to look cakey. You still want it to just glide over your skin and look like your skin without being cakey. I know right now the color is a little bit off. It looks, I feel like it looks yellow green on screen, but we're gonna work with that a little bit. I just want to make sure that I blend it in and pay a little bit of extra attention with blending it before I go in with other products. Now that I have the foundation on, I'm going to go in with a little bit of contour using the stick foundations from Juvia's Place as well. This is the shade Namibia, and it's just a cooler tone, darker shade on me. And I feel like going in with one of the other shades. This is Sokoto. This is a little bit darker as well, but it's more cool tone. And I'll use a beauty sponge. This is from e.l.f. just to blend that out, because these blend out nicely with a sponge and leave pigmentation behind. So I'm using that, just pouncing it over, and they blend out quickly. I don't have to do too much. I find that they're very creamy, they're emollient, and move quickly. They don't get dry or tuggy on the skin, which I appreciate. So I'm just gonna blend that in. So you see, ooh, it gives a little shape to the face. And I haven't been doing this much, but when you have full coverage foundation, I find that you do need to add a little bit of color to your hairline so that it kind of meshes a little better. And I don't know if you can tell, but it just blends a little easier with my hairline versus what we had before. Then under my eyes, I'm going to use the I Am Magic Concealer. I'm using shade number 10. And I'm going to apply that just under my eyes. And I'm going to let that sit for a little bit, because one of you guys recommended letting this sit on my skin and drying down a little bit before I blended it out. That way it won't shear out as easily when I start blending it out. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, I let that sit and it oxidized a little bit, but this is my skin tone, which I prefer to use shades that are closer to my skin tone. Did I tell you what shade it was? It was shade number 10. I don't remember if I said that. So I'm just gonna blend that out. And it does give more coverage that way. Okay. And that goes for any liquidy concealer. If you find that it shears out and you don't have the coverage that you need, just let it sit on your skin a little bit longer, and some of that moisture will sort of absorb into your skin and evaporate into Never Never Land, and then the pigment will leave that extra coverage behind. So I'm just blending that out over my skin, and I need to get into my inner tear duct. So I'm just gonna get a Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush and blend under my eyes directly. So up against the lash line and into that inner tear duct where some darkness was from the eyeshadow and just from me having dark under eye circles. It's not too intense. I wouldn't say like I have really bad under eye circles, but you know, a little darkness and a little shading is under that. So there goes my skin. All right, we're gonna need to set this down with powder, but I'm gonna pounce some more just to get some of that excess moisture off with the sponge, which your sponge will help you to get moisture off your skin and absorb a little bit more of that product. So I think that looks great. And I feel like I should set this with my favorite loose powder that I recently tried out. This is the Urban Decay One and Done Ultimate Brush Off. I think, let's see what it says here. The Ultimate Brush Off Set and Go Powder. The shade I'm using is medium, and the brush that I'm using is from Juvia's place. It's the J123 tapered blush brush, but I find it works so well because it has that shape to it, that tapered pointed shape that helps get right under the eyes, and I don't have to do any crazy maneuvering to get powder right under there. And this powder is so smooth, it sets the skin so well, it looks beautiful, but it's still ultra lightweight at the same time. I think they really perfected this. It really is a brush off powder because you just apply it and then it almost disappears. So it's really beautiful. The shade I'm using all over my skin now is dark. Oh, I got a little bit too much there in my brows. Oh God. So we'll see if it really brushes off. I'll take that off since it wants to come off. This is the Smashbox Sculpting Bouquet brush. You probably know this brush by now, but I love this brush for applying powder. It just gets in all the right places and it brushes off powder really well. Now you see that the foundation doesn't look as yellow or as green. I do want to go in with a little bit of bronzer just to apply over where we had the darker shades before. So I'm using my Benefit Hoola bronzer in caramel and an E2 brush from Morphe, which is just a larger brush, just to intensify the bronze and contour around our hairline. And then really quickly, I'm just gonna go back in on the outer V with the darker shade. So we have the dark brown and then the dark purple, just to smoke out that color because we don't wanna leave a harsh line. And some of that got covered up by the concealer. So we're just going back over that outer V, outer crease, just to intensify and smoke out that area so it doesn't look like we covered it up with foundation or concealer. So let's go ahead and finish up the eyes with some mascara. So I'm going in with my favorite mascara, which is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'm just applying that to my upper lashes right before I go in with my false eyelashes. And then for my lower lashes, I'm using, again, another one of my favorites. This is the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. Then for my false eyelashes, I'm going in with this kit from Eyeliner. It's from their Luxe Cashmere line, which are very soft, lightweight lashes. They feel so luxurious, and these are synthetic, so they're not mink, but they still feel very soft. And this is number 4, which is just a full lash. It gives some length as well, but it's really full. So I'm using the applicator that comes with the kit. I don't really like it because it's not the easiest to grab the lashes with, but in a pinch it will definitely work. And these lashes definitely feel very comfortable, very lightweight. And as usual, I go in with my Shu Uemura lash curler just to pinch my natural lashes together with the false eyelashes. That just helps them to get a better blend. And then I'll go over the lash band with a liquid eyeliner. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Fly Liner just to cover up any lash residue or eyeshadow fallout that may be on the lash band. Now let's go ahead and finish up the eyes. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of the Skin Show Divine Glow on my MAC 252 brush, and I'm just gonna pop it directly beneath my brows for a highlight. So I'm not going in too strong with this. I'm just applying it very lightly and blending it down. That makes a beautiful highlight. It's not too intense, it's a little bit glowy, it's not too shimmery. Oh, that's pretty. And then on the lower lash line, I feel like we should definitely go in with the Blitz Flame. This is the Sonia G Builder Pro Brush, and I'm just applying that shadow on the outer lower lash line. Then I'm also gonna grab some of the dark purple, Extreme Aubergine, and apply it on the outer part of that lower lash line. So the very outer part, just to smoke it out with the red. And then I'll go in with my Urban Decay Perversion liner, which is just a matte black, and apply that to the outer lower waterline. I'm not pulling it all the way in because I want to keep the inner part lighter so we don't completely close off the eyes. Alright, I think the skin looks pretty great, and I'm gonna go in with a blush that I haven't used in forever. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Cheek to Chic Swish and Pop blusher, and the shade I'm using is the Climax, and it's just a nudie natural blush. As you can see, it looks very nude, and then it has a pop in the center. I'm just gonna pop that on my cheeks, and this is gonna give a very subtle flush. Can't even really tell, can you? Let's see if we can get some more color. Honestly, I can see it in the mirror, but I don't know how it's translating on camera, because usually you have to pack on color for it to show up on camera. But hopefully you can see the color, I'm hoping. Rain just started pouring down outside, but I'm gonna go in with a highlighter, also one that I haven't used in a while. So I'm thinking either Smoky Quartz or Royal Glow from Becca. I think I want to do Smoky Quartz, and I'm gonna use the Allure Cosmetics diffuser brush for this. Whoo, okay, because this is a beautiful color, right? Let me buff it out, make sure it's nice and buffed in. So I just use like buff in circular motions to go over that. So I work it into the skin. Perfect. I think that's good, right? And for lips, I want to do something dark. So I'm going to go in with this lipstick from Urban Decay. It's the shade Disturbed. This lipstick is a matte finish, or what Urban Decay likes to call their comfort matte, which means it's comfortable. It's not like an ultra drying matte. So it's really beautiful, but it is a dark color. So you probably think I'm really bold to have applied it directly from the tube without a close-up mirror, and I am. But as bold as I am, I know I couldn't get like a clean, crisp line, and with a dark color, you want to get a crisp line. So I'm going in with a lip brush. This is from Scott Barnes. It's the number 60 brush, and I'm just gonna sharpen up the line of that lip color with that lip brush and make sure that we get a nice crisp line with this dark lip color, because you want it, again, to be nice and crisp when you have such a dark color. I feel like after all of that, I am due some finishing spray, which I don't think is a necessity, but I feel like it right now, especially since we have full coverage foundation on. So I'm just using the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. It's hydrating, and it's a really, really fine mist, and yeah, that's it. So here you have it. This is the completed look, and I love it. I really like how the eyes turned out. The purple shade was a little bit darker than I thought. I didn't expect it to really come off almost black, but it still blended out beautifully. It still looks great, and I like the halo effect. It definitely is giving me like a dark, vampy vibe. And the shimmer shades, like, can you see? Oh, let me zoom in. Come on. Here you have like the duochrome glittery beautifulness on the lids. It's really sparkly and gorgeous, but because of the way I applied it and blended it out, it's a little bit more sophisticated. I really, really love how that turned out. And of course, the lips. Who doesn't like a dark vampy lip for the fall? So here you have it. That's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this get ready with me makeup tutorial. I love doing these. It's kind of given me a way to enjoy makeup and get back into loving makeup and applying eyeshadow, because I don't apply eyeshadow on the everyday, and this gives me an excuse to do it and also create content for you guys so I can showcase different products. I can try them out, do different looks. So if you have a palette in mind, just let me know and I will try to incorporate it. Again, I'm just trying to go through all the palettes in my collection. I'm trying to utilize my makeup more and more since I've kind of cut back on buying makeup. Now, let's do... Don't correct me and don't judge me. I know I am still buying tons of makeup and getting makeup sent to me. But again, I want to enjoy my makeup. I want to try out all the things, have fun, and create looks. So if you guys are into these videos, definitely keep hitting the thumbs up, leaving comments, letting me know that you guys enjoy these videos. And I will keep doing them because, again, Really fun to do, really easy to do, and I just love playing in makeup. So as usual, I'm gonna leave a full list of all the products used and mentioned in this video down below in the description box, along with links on where you can pick them up. Those links happen to be affiliate links, which means I will get a small sales commission if you purchase through those links. That really helps me to put right back into the channel, so I truly appreciate it if you use my links when shopping. If you're not comfortable with that, just shop the way you normally shop. But again, thank you for those of you who do use my links when shopping. And I will also go ahead and leave links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat where we have fun. We have a good time over there, so follow me along if you're interested. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.